What's up, YouTube? Greetings to the world. The music, please. It's showtime. Welcome to Wolf King's Vids. I'm your host, the illustrious adversary. Give it up. Okay, so recently, Duarte, the president of the Philippines, he made some controversial statements about God not being real. One of the few times he's actually told the truth, and that caused an uproar with the Catholic community in the Philippines and to a less degree globally. Um, so this sparked a report on Fox News. Let's watch. Where is that? There we go.
Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has defied in anger the Catholic Church and Christians worldwide after he said he would quit if someone could prove to him that God exists. Hello, welcome to Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. Duterte has been in office just 2 years, but critics say he has become isolated at home and abroad, in part because of his spat with the church. He not only defied the existence of God, but used expletives to describe the God of the Judeo-Christian Bible. So is it worth taking up Duterte's challenge, or should he just be ignored? And here with his thoughts is Dr. Alex McFarland, author, director of Christian Worldview, North Greenville University. Welcome, Alex.
Yes, they got this apologist on to give sort of like a counterbalance to these views.
Well, thank you, Lauren. It's good to be with you.
Well, I hear that since then, Duterte has actually apologized to God, but I'm interested in just first what your reaction to all this is.
Yeah, the reaction to the damage control, to the downplay.
Well, he's not the first person that's been on record sort of denigrating God or slamming God. 50 years ago, John Lennon of the Beatles had to make a mea culpa for saying the Beatles were bigger than Jesus. And then, I don't know, 25 years ago or so, Ted Turner said we need to get rid of the 10 Commandments and have the 10 suggestions or 10 voluntary initiatives. And then it was pushed back. But at one point, the president of the Philippines there said God, or the idea of God, was stupid. But I just read in prepping for this interview that he's apologized to God. And if that be the case, I'm glad to hear it. I hope it was sincere.
Well, maybe he just got a sense of pragmatism because, the Philippines is a largely Catholic nation, and him as head of state was not showing a lot of sanity and talking disparagingly about God.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty counterproductive, I would think, that if your constituency loves the Lord, then you better not, maybe you don't love the Lord, but at least you don't want to slam the Savior that they believe in. But here's what he said. It was interesting. In his apology to God, he said, I want to be clear, I'm apologizing to God and no one else. He said, but the God I believe in, my God is all forgiving. And to that, to he or anyone, I would say that is true. God is all forgiving. But we have to come to God humbly. The Bible tells us that if we will turn to Jesus Christ and say, Lord, I'm sorry for my sins, and I thank you that you paid for my sins on the cross, that Christ will forgive. He can be forgiven. Duarte, or I found that forgiveness at 21. And so this is a message that we all need to hear, that God is all forgiving, but we have to come to him humbly and repentantly.
Well, I want to ask you a question because he brings up the question of, like, can anyone prove that God exists in a sense? In other words, question is, what proof is there?
There's a particular thing that just a quick note, just for anyone who's watching this. There's something that's important about this little Fox interview, and I'm gonna bring it up later on in the video. But just note this: it's in regards to the Philippines and the policy regarding that place.
That if there's a God, he would give you proof that he exists. It really becomes this deep philosophical question. And even though he's apologized, the question still looms out there. Is it possible to have an objective standard to prove that God exists?
I think it absolutely is. And we have to qualify what people mean by proof. If they mean a mathematical proof, like we could determine at what temperature steel melts or something like that, no, but you can't mathematically prove that George Washington crossed the Delaware. But in terms of what's called a statistical proof or the preponderance of evidence, God is an absolutely logical, likely inference. Creation had to have a creator, design had to have a designer, the moral law came from a moral lawgiver. So when you look at all that we know about life, the most logical inference and admission is there is an all-powerful creator, a supernatural, eternal God that is beyond this timely world, a timeless God and creator. So I would say, yes, it is possible to prove God, not in the sense of a mathematical theorem, but in a most logical conclusion based on all the observable evidence.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the end of the clip. Let me just get out of share mode here. Okay. Now, here's the interesting thing about that clip. You'll find from neither of those either of those people that were engaging in that dialogue there, neither of them brought up the massacre that's going on in the Philippines right now in regards to how drug users are being prosecuted, drug sellers are being killed off. Like all these people are being killed off, but instead they're worrying about Duterte's comments regarding God and its impact on the Catholic Church. I mean that's that's really the thing. Like lives are being killed off. They're just being completely like thrown in the slaughter. But they're more worried about the feelings of the majority of the religious population. I mean I'm not surprised. And the whole notion of evidence for God, statistical evidence. First off, this guy he throws these terms around. He doesn't really understand what he's talking about. He says he talks about like trying to mathematically prove God, but then saying that that's logical. I mean, both of them require deductive reasoning. First off, but mainly he sort of went through a number of the classic arguments. Creation needs a creator. In reference to ID, the design argument, morality requires a moral lawgiver, and all this. I mean, honestly, let's just take the Philippines and the current situation it has, and just look at it from a rational perspective, right? Just from a statistical perspective. If there is a God, an all-powerful, omnibenevolent deity, right? He'd want to make sure that the people who believe in him are protected and they don't suffer things that occur beyond their control, right? So things like famine, things like parasites, things like hurricanes and evil dictators in power or cult leaders, like these people shouldn't exist. If not, shouldn't have the power to harm people. Except that these things are harming people every day, like regardless of whether or not humans have any free will in the matter. I mean, if this God exists and all this horrible shit in the world is happening, either he doesn't really care or he just doesn't exist. It's just a construct created by man to establish fear and promote order in society, and as a result, that's just what we're seeing. But I just think it's a really just an off the cuff thing that Duarte said. I mean, I doubt he's gonna step down if some great Christian apologist approaches him with an argument or something like that. I'm pretty sure he was just saying that just to be snarky or something to that effect. But yeah, honestly, Duarte's existence just demonstrates that even if there is a God that exists, he doesn't care about the affairs of man, or he's just he really just doesn't care at all, or he doesn't exist. I'm going with the latter. So I really failed to see the statistical proof that this individual was talking about. I feel like those are more just like classic arguments. So I doubt if he understands what the concept of statistics entails. But that's my 2 cents on the situation. It seems like this world, in this world, there's a struggle for existence. There's like a hard, sort of a hard development for progress being made for the human species, and I don't think there's some divine being looking out for us and deciding our fate in that regard. At least there's no empirical evidence to demonstrate that. But that's my view. That's my 2 cents on this. They should focus on trying to stop the massacre in the Philippines rather than the edgy shit that Duarte says. I mean, even if he says he's an atheist, I don't give a damn. I think he's just a shitty political leader because of the way he's treating his people and his ineffective method regarding handling the drug trade. But that's my assessment of the situation. All right, this has been the adversary. Peace out. If you like this video, you know what to do. Stop by there to know, and hell Satan. Good night.